Okay, I am Janit Segar and I am from NISCOT. So, Gaston Roberge is a very good critic. He defines film appreciation that which enlightens the audience and enhances their experience of viewing film with a sense of visual literacy. So, somebody viewing, viewing a visual content without having any visual literacy, their perspective would be different from someone looking at the visuals from a visual literacy. So we are called here to be visually literate than continuously being visually literate. So this is an invitation. This is an invitation. This is a call to each and every one of us to be visually literate. Okay, that is the main objective of this particular forum, and we are going to create some kind of interest. And we have seen some fans, for fan followers for the actors and directors, but then they will be always associating their heart with the heart or with the persona of the actors, but they don't use their head to analyze, to appreciate the visual content. Whatever the actor acts, however the actor acts, whatever picture that he chooses, the fan will be always in a situation to follow in line with the concept and conviction of the actor. But here it's a call: don't look cinema from your heart, don't look the actor, don't appreciate the actor from the heart, but use some head also. So it is an appreciation by using both the head and the heart. It is not excluding our heart from to appreciate a movie, but we include both the head and the heart to appreciate the movie. But then we want all the fan followers to become friends for these actors and even the directors. So not be making a fan into foe, but our concept and our aspiration is to make a fan into friends. See how nice it is, because a friend can always guide us. He never uses, maybe a lover, a girl or a boy may use their heart, to associate with us. But a friend, a true friend, will always use both the heart and the head, to guide us. So the main objective of film appreciation here is that we will be looking, cinema characters or even the elements of cinema, not from our heart, but using both of our hearts and our heads, correct? Okay. So here, there are 3 different types of viewers among us. We are 62, I think, including everyone here. We are 62. But some people, Gothe, there is another one analyst, he says, he gives 3 different types of viewers. One, who appreciates without criticizing. There will be always people in our life as well, always they cannot see the defects, they cannot see the mistakes. They'll be all, whatever you do, very nice, even in the working platforms and working office and other places scenarios, there will be occasions like that. The employee always appreciating the boss, whatever he says, he instructs, and there will be no. There'll be always appreciating. There won't be any criticizing. So it is like some people are there watching movie or seeing a movie just from associating themselves with their heart and just appreciating without criticizing. That is one sector of viewers. And second, type of viewers are one who criticizes without appreciating. There will be some people also among us, amidst us, who will be always finding fault. They call that pessimistic, way of looking into pessimistic. But whereas the first type of viewer, that is optimistic, always optimistic, too positive in appreciating, too positive in associating. Whereas second, always pessimist, means critical, always critical, crooked. They'll be analyzing each and everything, and they don't have any time to appreciate at all. But then we'll be more focusing on the third category or the type of viewers, that is one who appreciatively criticizes and critically appreciates, means a person who uses both his heart and his head. Correct. So one who appreciatively criticizes, and wherever it's supposed to criticize, and he is there, the first person to criticize, wherever there's a possibility to appreciate, that person will be there first to appreciate as well. So that is the main objective of this particular film appreciation also. That is, we will be there at first to criticize, and also we will never, hesitate to appreciate as well. Okay, so in order to understand cinema, we should understand that cinema is an artistic language. So what is a language? Language is just a communicative tool. We can say it's a tool through which we can communicate, what we think. Okay, what we when I ask some of you, okay, can you say what is going in your mind? So you are using a language to communicate. So what are the ways that you can communicate? You can communicate through verbal, language. That means verbally you can communicate. I'm talking to you now, right? And sometimes I can also communicate with you non-verbally. Maybe my action, my gestures, okay, hand movements, then eye contact, eyeball movement, the proximity. Even if you are not doing anything, just be still. Even that silence is a powerful tool of communication that communicates a lot. They say silence can, communicate a lot than what you are narrating in verbal or textual format, right? So being silent. Another one, even the proximity. For example, a character hero, a heroine, or a girl and a boy standing here. If they are, the proximity means the space that they are sharing. Okay, proximity. Let us say the boy and the girl coming closer, and there they have a meaning, different meaning. If the boy and the girl, they keep some distance, maintain some distance, then of course the meaning is different. If the boy and girl, if they maintain a little more distance, then the meaning differs, right? So that is what proximity. You don't communicate, you don't talk, okay, you don't even use some non-verbal gestures, but just the proximity, the space that you are sharing, okay, with these two people, that has meaning, that has message. Are we looking into it? Are we looking into it? So whenever if we say that film is a language, we are always concentrating only on the dialogue, what it is spoken, okay, what it is spoken, and what is so obvious, what it is visible. Are we also focusing on what it is not visible? Okay, so here cinema is an artistic language which communicates a problem and a solution. Are we able to relate ourselves with that? That is what we are going to look in. Okay, here we have two different concepts. So I am going to give 5 different terms like this. So if you are able to understand these 5 different terms, you are already thorough enough in understanding the concept of film appreciation. The first thing is denotation. Actually, this concept is given by James Manocco. He uses these 2 different concepts to appreciate the film languages. And let us understand now, find out what is called denotation. So it simply suggests that the viewers see and understand literally what is shown on a screen. Okay, I see people here, so many people are there. Okay, I see them. I can judge, in the sense I can infer what kind of people they are, from which part of the country or which part of this globe they are from. So we can easily infer. We may not be right, but there are opportunities to infer and to understand people with the textures, with the face, with the the background that they are having, even the color complex that each and every one of us are having. So all those things are there. So it is just to see and understand literally what is seen, what is shown on a screen. That is what called denotation. Okay, it is very easy to understand denotation. But what is connotation? It is mostly expressed in symbols and signs. It needs mind to decode, to decipher. To decipher, we need mind. Okay, to decode, we need mind. The signs and symbols in the films that partly or fully reveals the reality. For example, I have shared here in order to understand. you know, the difference between denotation and connotation. There is a beautiful flower here. It's a rose, but it's a flower. What you see, if I ask what you see, you always denote. Denote the sense you just look into the image and say, of course, it's a beautiful red flower, right? Which is having also thorns and some leaves and a stem. This is what we see. But what does connotation mean? Connotation is that what are the layers of meaning that this particular object or image is sharing with us? What is that underlying nature of the flower? It could be, you know, passion. It could be love, a symbol of love. So as we see, only as a fan or only as a, you know, viewer, we'll be ending ourselves with just seeing it as a flower. But we may not surpass ourselves, get into the reality, that which is, you know, hiding, which is hidden. So the red rose, it denotes a flower and connotes the meaning of love and passion. So film appreciation helps one to go beyond the denoted meaning and decipher the connoted meaning, which is beneath the surface and what might be inarticulable. We cannot say, you know, the filmmaker cannot say what is going on inside the mind, but the person, the man who, you know, hands over the flower to a girl, you need not say, articulate any word. You don't want any, you know, a language to be, you know, spoken. Just you present a flower, that itself is, and if it is received, the love is accepted. If it is discarded, love is not accepted, right? This is what we are going to understand and analyze in the language of film. Okay, these are two important, you know, terms. I hope you understand this. One is that, you know, it's overall, just as we see, we understand. But the second one is, which is hidden, but we need a sense on this and the concept of sentiments to get into the mood and the meaning of the image. That's all. Okay. Next image, just I want to again ask you, what do you see? Of course, a description is there, but I just want to ask you, what do you understand by seeing this image? You are open, please. Please come forward. What do you understand by seeing? That means denoting, just denoting. Okay, you can see a person, few angels, old man, and all those things. So what do you understand? What is going on in your mind and in your heart when you see this particular image? I hope you are all with me, right? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Shruti. I'm from India. So what I see is a depiction of, you know, God and Adam. And I feel like there's a divide between, you know, heaven and earth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Okay, so this is your analysis, right? Your inference, that you are trying to understand, you are trying to connote what exactly the meaning which is underlying or it is which is behind, right? This painting. Right. Yes, thank you, Shruti.
Thank you.
That's a divide. That's a divide between heaven and the earth. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Linton from Sri Lanka.
Yes,
what I feel is now the background is a cracking wall. The background, I feel like the link between the heaven and earth is cracking, something like that. I feel.
Okay, very nice, very nice, very nice interpretation. Yes.
Thank you.
It's me.
Yes, last. Let us go for last. Yes.
Philip. When I saw picture, I'm thinking about between two things. They have the relationship cognate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a kind of relationship, like initiative. Okay. Thank you. And others, of course, you may have, you know, a lot of insights in your mind, and you may not be able to share. But then it is there. Of course, we don't, you know, consume as it is. We don't consume as it is. But then always, for you know, try to analyze and understand. Let us see another one person. How does he, another one, you know, analyst, how does he conceive this particular image? Okay, see in 1990, Anderson, a person, he noted the background figures and shapes portrayed behind the figure of God appear to be an anatomically accurate picture of the human brain. Okay, human brain. So see a person, another one, of course, it is another interpretation that the people they give different kind of interpretation, but a normal viewer denotes the visual image as it is. Okay, two different persons. Whereas a visually literate viewer connotes the visual images and try to understand the underlying layers of the image, visual image. That is what we are actually heading towards, to that particular aspect. Okay, particular scenario that we are heading towards. So there can be, it may not be actually in the mind of the creator, but then that person, one person who looks. That's why when you go to some gallery, that means some painting, where painting gallery, art gallery, and you can see some people, they look there, they sit there or stand there, look at that particular image for quite a long time. But so some people, those who are visually illiterate, what they do, just they go around fast and they, they come. But then some people, those who have the idea and knowledge to decode that particular image, they will be standing and analyzing, appreciating that, that will be giving a lot of, gladness to the creator as well. Okay, this is a kind of, portrayal. Okay, so another three words, I have already introduced two important concepts. One is denotation and another one is connotation. Now we are moving a little advanced, that is different layers of film appreciation. Means there are three. One is text, subtext, and context. As a trainers, if you have these three or 5 words in your mind, that itself is enough. You can go anywhere and do film appreciation course. Okay, if you have these 5 ideas in your mind, that is denotation, connotation, and 3 different layers of film appreciation, that is text, subtext, and context. If you're thorough with that, as a trainer, you can go anywhere, any corner of this world, and you can conduct film appreciation. Let us understand what is text. Okay, here. So it is a surface layer of an art. If a movie, we have seen, a movie, Joker by Todd Phillips. Joaquin Phoenix, that's a brilliant actor who acted in that. And one who is, visually illiterate, or who is not having that kind of sense to appreciate, they will be just, presenting themselves in the layer of text. Layer of text means what is there, what we see, what we hear, and what people say, and what people do on screen, just that. Okay, that person is moving there and he is watching, he's smiling, and again, some other scene is there, that is the Charlie Chaplin, and of course, few people are standing up and they're able to go out. So this is what text, what we see. That is what the sir was trying to, explain to us. Mise en scene. Mise en scene means what is there placed in the stage. What is there placed in the stage? What kind of headphone I have? What is the backdrop that I am sharing with? And what are the lights that kept here? What is the shadow? Whatever you see, just that you see on the stage is what text, which doesn't convey any meaning to you. It doesn't answer to your unanswerable questions, doubts, but just you see, or it just conveys what it appears or likely to appear. All right. So that is what called text. What we see, what we hear, what people say, what people do on screen. There is a small exercise. I want you to do that. Shall we do that? I hope you join with me. Yes. See, so when I say stars, you have to raise your hands and do like this. No word. You should not speak anything. Just do like this. Stars. Okay. When I say sun, do like this. Sun. Moon. Moon. Okay. Clouds. 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 Rain. Rain. That's all. And the rainbow, of course, you can go for rainbow. All right. Now we shall start. Stars, rain, moon, clouds, rainbow, moon, stars, sun, clouds, stars, moon. Many of you are doing, but I said moon, no? Okay, I said moon. Okay, so that now what? Okay, let us again see. So clouds, stars, moon, sun, clouds, stars, sun, moon, cloud. Okay, some of you are able to follow me. See here, this is what we call text. This is what we call text. You do not know the meaning. Okay, you do not know the meaning. You are associating yourself just what is spoken and what is seen. This is the text. This is the first layer of film appreciation. Just we are appreciating the first layer. But it is not, I am not telling you that you should not see that. It's very important elements in film appreciation. Text is also very important. What you see is very important. What you hear is very important. Okay, we should appreciate, but it's one layer of appreciation. Text is also one layer of appreciation. What you see, what you hear, and you try to imitate. Correct? That is text. And we move on to next slide. That is subtext. What is subtext? See, actually, these things are used in literature as well. When you read a book or when you read a magazine or a newspaper, they say don't read just the lines, but between the lines. That is what called subtext. It is not what exactly seen on the screen, what it is exactly shown on the screen, but it is behind the screen. It's beyond the visuals. That is what called subtext. You just imagine, reclaim that particular concept of connotation, what you are understanding. You see these visuals, it is from a movie called Reverend, The Reverend, you might have by DiCaprio. So he, actually he's having a lot of conflicts in his mind and he wants to go and, save, not to save, of course, his son has been killed and he wants to take revenge. But then there are a lot of, lot of hindrances are there on his way. And in order to symbolize that, there is a heap of human skeletons. Human skeletons are there. Skulls are heaped. So this image, one image is enough to decode and to understand the conflict that the character is going, in his mind. The conflict that he is holding in his mind. The commotion that it is there in his heart. This particular image itself is enough. So the director need not tell with the voiceover, this person is having a conflict, psychological conflict. He is mourning for the loss of his son. He need not say. He just wants to show a visual which depicts that emotions and mood. So it is showcasing, the director wants to showcase the mood and the emotions of the character to the viewers. For that, he is using the subtext. I hope you understand the meaning of subtext. What is the, for what reason the director uses the term or uses this concept subtext. It is the underlying theme of an art, what we don't see and hear outwardly. Details that raise a question which the director won't answer. He need not answer, but those visuals will give the viewers all the hints to answer themselves. But then we should have a mindset to decode that. If you are not able to decode, then see, we are paying 250 rupees to see a movie, but only we are content with the text and we are coming back to home. But if you are able to analyze and appreciate the movie, you will be able to appreciate and understand, the text, subtext, and the content, then of course you have seen the full of the movie, not just a half, not just a sip of the coffee, the fullness, the full reality of the movie. And that is how the worth paying of 250 rupees, let us say 300 rupees. Right? I hope you understand. Now we go for another one. Andre Basing is a very good, actually that's a very good book, a small booklet is there. He is a very good theorist, Andre Basing. He says the drama on the screen can exist without actors. You don't want any actor at all. A banging door can convey a message. A leaf in the wind can convey a meaning. Waves beating on the shore can heighten the dramatic, effect. So you need not always follow the characters, follow the other elements as well, which may add, add flavors to the theme of the movie. It will heighten your, your interest to follow the characters, and you will be able to. So it is not only the character, it is not the dialogue, but of course other elements are also, giving more meaning to the film. Okay, the third one, sorry, again, of course, a few explanations. There are a few places where subtext is more likely to surface. Dialogue. When you talk about dialogue, it is not just I am talking. The tone of the dialogue has a meaning. The tone of the dialogue. If I say, "Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you, man?" A same dialogue, but the tone can create emotions, can even reveal your emotions. So you should also understand the tone, the dialogue, the words used, and the body language that goes with it. So when you appreciate a character, you don't just see the textual layer of the character, but also the subtextual layer of the character. That's the dialogue, the tone, the facial expressions, the texture that he is sharing with the screen, all those things. Then description, the look of a place or a person. Sometimes, that you can see some of the movies. I have already, I think, shared to Sir Mahimay sir. He'll be sharing those visuals to you. The character may be having some problems. Okay, he is not orderly. Let us say he's not orderly. He is very casual. He doesn't go serious. He's very casual. The director need not say that. Just he has to show the unpainted wall with cracks, or some cobwebs, some webs here and there, some scattered things. Okay, they always say if you want to understand the personality of a person, go and look into the toilet. They say, I do not know whether it's right or wrong. We have to ask Mahimay sir, a psychologist. But then some people say if you want to understand the personality of a person, you should go and look into the personal toilet. So the same thing some directors may use in order to showcase their inner emotions. They may show other elements around them, which will be a depiction, which will be telling us what is actually going inside the person, the character. That's what description. Then the character, social norms of the society they live in, or their general attitude towards them can also be subtext. So attitudes, emotions, the way they carry out themselves. These are few of the subtext you can try to understand. Okay, the third one is context. You can see this image. I think it's from Pianist, the movie, The Pianist. It is a layer that adds information to the text. The text is the person. Let us say text is the person and what you see. It is the who, what, where, when, and how parameters of a story. Okay. By seeing this poster itself, you can say the story. That's the context. Where the character is placed is the context. See around him, everything is scattered, demolished, and a lifelessness is seen around him. Hopelessness is seen around him. That is a place where he is placed. Right? The context that gives a lot of elements. That gives a lot of understanding. That gives a lot of meaning and message. The hopelessness, the commotion surrounding everything seen. So context is also very important when you appreciate a movie. So if you are able to understand the layers such as text, subtext, and context, then you will be able to understand. So I'll be having a few other classes, one full day class, maybe after 2 days, I hope. So we will be appreciating, that means we'll be again going very, closer to the screen. So we will be how can we theoretically appreciate a movie? How can we thematically appreciate a movie? How can we technically appreciate a movie? How can we theatrically, aesthetically, and ethnographically? That means all the elements, aspects are there, and we'll be seeing things in depth and in details in the coming class. So I hope you have got something as a takeaway as a trainers, and to present it in front of the other people who also will be welcoming you. So thank you, sir. Thank you.